right, welcome back, my Right at IB Right students. So we've been practicing our basics as far as grammar, punctuation, syntax go, and we become syntactical ninjas working on our sentence patterns. And in this particular lesson, I want to focus on to be verb usage, and I have a game called To Be Verb Swatter Bash. I learned about to be verbs kind of in an odd way. Undergraduate school sociology class. It was a sociology of deviant behavior class. And what I came to learn is this. When suspects are brought into interrogation scenes, detectives linguistically listen for how often the suspect will slip into to be verb usage. And what they learned is this: if a suspect gets really hunkered down and imbued into be verbs, it's usually a good indication that they're lying. So, why do I tell you this? Because we're not going to be lying at all in English composition class. Here's what it belies if students overuse to be verbs. One, that they have a very weak vocabulary. Two, that they are very hesitant and reluctant with regards to what they're saying. Or three, you have in fact lied and you're pretending to write about a book that you have not read. So that's one thing, teachers, that you can pay attention to. If you get essays, especially for literary analysis, that are riddled with to be verbs, it's usually an indication that the kid has not read thoroughly enough. So what I'm going to do in this particular video is run you through the activity and explain kind of my rationale and reasoning behind why I do it. So again, it's called To Be Verb Swatter Bash. Here are the guidelines for the game. You can split the class. I usually do it in two. My class sizes are typically about 24, 26, and I split the class into two. And what they need to do is rewrite, without using a single to be verb, all of my to be verb laden sentences. And I'll model this for you in just a second. And then I kind of play the game show host, and I award a fly swatter to the best revision. And what I do is this. So the whole team has to rewrite the sentence, and then they gather together, and each team of the two will submit the best revision from the group. Now, here's my rule. Let's say we have a student and his name is Miles on team A and Sarah on team B. Once Miles and Sarah have submitted, they cannot again. So they're only allowed to submit once. That way we get a whole bunch of work. And then I have cutouts that I place on my board with two different color swatters and then 10 B's, because we're going to have 10 sentences to revise. And the cutouts look just like this right here. You can print those out and put them on your board or your easel. And then one essential thing that your students are going to need to know are the derivations or conjugations of to be in the English language. And they are here: to be, was, were, am, is, are, been, being, and be. I always have students write those down in a notebook before we begin the exercise, because again, those words are going to be forbidden. They will not be allowed to use any of those words. And real quick before I launch in, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. It's called Kristian, Kuhn, the Bob Ross of Composition. Spread the word far and wide to friends, colleagues, and students, and help me beat those pesky algorithms. In terms of all the slides that you're going to see here in this presentation, they are for free. You can download them. Just scroll down a tad bit in the video description on YouTube, and they will be there as Google Docs, PowerPoints, etc. So as always, before I do an exercise like this, I need to model it just to demystify it for the kids. So I just model it once here. As you can see here, I have a sentence. And in red, I've identified the to be verbs. And in all the rest of the 10 exemplars, students will have the same format. So it's a sentence, or it's 2 or 3 sentences, and I've loaded them with to be verbs. Grammatically, they are correct. They make sense. I just really upped the to be's in a hyperbolic way. So here is my model. When I was just being a kid who was playing t-ball, This one time we went out for ice cream because we were the team who won the championship. So you can see there, I have was, being, was, and were. I have four in one simple sentence. So I rewrite it, and the rule is no to be verbs at all. So I might say something like this. As a kid, my T-ball team won the championship, so we went out and celebrated with ice cream. What kids will see is when they limit their to be verbs or don't use them at all, it changes the sentence construct. They end up using more sophisticated patterns and types. And I have a whole bunch of stuff on that in my YouTube channel, my Strunk and White Rule number 18 activities. And then also it helps them augment their vocabulary a little bit. They got to stay in their wheelhouse. So I won't go through all 10 slides with you. I'm just going to show you a few of the ones so that you get a sense. So number one says, being that it was the first day of school, I was dressed in my best clothes and was wearing my new sneakers. So you have being, was. So every kid on team A, right, will rewrite this. Every kid on team B will rewrite this. They gather and they submit their best. I play game show host and I award the fly swatter to that particular problem. And as I said, there are 10. Here's number two. The girls' soccer team was on the bus when they were being chased by a police car. So you get the sense here. The goal is they have to rewrite all of these without using a single to be verb. So just run through these real quick just to give you an eyeball glance. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's a total of 10, all in all. So my Write at IB Write students, please go through, depending on your needs, the sentence patterning and sentence type exercises. If you feel like you have not mastered the basics of grammar, punctuation, and syntax, do the Etch-a-Sketch exercises, the yellow belt and the black belt exercises. And then for teachers and students that are watching this, know that I run an academy called Write at Ivy Write. And if you want more information, you can email me, writeatibywrite@gmail.com. Principally, what I'm doing is helping students write their college